I've been an avid tech reviewer for a short while now, but I've been using smartphones for over 10 years, going into 15 years now. And in this video, I will be talking to you guys about why I chose to switch to Samsung Galaxy devices or Android devices opposed to iPhones, especially in 2025. Let's go. So for some clarity, when I just started using smartphones back in high school, yeah, I'm old. I finished high school in around 2017. Don't guess my age, you won't. I started out with using BlackBerry. Yes, I am that old. My first smartphone was a BlackBerry, and then my second smartphone was an Android. Sooner or later, after getting that Android, it was stolen. Very sad story. I got my first iPhone. Back then, it was the iPhone 4. I think that was the third iPhone released. I'm not sure, but I got it mainly because most of my friends had iPhones and the camera looked really nice. Everyone was bragging about iPhone camera quality back then, and having an iPhone, it's either you have an iPhone or you have a Samsung Galaxy S series or Note series back then. But the iPhone was more popular among our age group in high school back then, so I got an iPhone. Camera was nice, felt good, felt premium compared to the cheap Android that I had back then, so I loved it. I went ahead, I got a 5, I got the 5S. I didn't get the 5C. I didn't really like it. I wasn't really fond of it. Felt plasticky and felt cheap, but I got the iPhone 5S. It was really good. It was the first iPhone to have the fingerprint scanner on the phone. I think Apple was one of the first companies to come out with that feature, fingerprint scanner. You tap that little pad on the home screen under the home button, opens the phone. Love that. The camera was also phenomenal on the 5S. Loved it. It was a really nice phone. You know, it was an iPhone. I was in high school. What was I doing on a phone that would warrant me to have more than that? Then I lost that iPhone, and my next phone was an LG G3, and that phone kind of changed my mindset as it relates to Android devices. I started seeing what people were talking about online on YouTube back then, 2016, about customization, custom ROMs, and stuff you can do with an Android that you cannot do with an iPhone. Especially back then, I'm in high school. I can't afford to get music from iTunes. It was iTunes back then, by the way. It wasn't Apple Music. So you go on an Android, you go on the internet, you download the music, you have it on your phone, and you can share it with your friends. You could not do that with an iPhone unless you had a laptop or a MacBook. A MacBook is a laptop, by the way. I don't care what you think. A MacBook is a PC. A Windows laptop then. If you have a Windows laptop, you download the iTunes software onto the Windows or your MacBook, and you can send songs from the laptop to your iPhone. That was the only way if you're not going to buy music from iTunes. With an Android device back then, you go on the internet, you see an MP3, you click download, and you have it on your device, just like that. You don't need to buy anything. And I like that about my LG G3. So that helped me to dive more into the Android ecosystem. Fast forward, I got the LG G4. It was a love-hate relationship. It was really good, but really bad at the same time with the board issue. Then fast forward again, I got the LG V10. Now I kept the V10 for about a year into 2017 until I upgraded to the iPhone 6s Plus and then the iPhone 7 Plus of that same year. And I continued using iPhones. As I said, it was neither here nor there for me. I didn't care about iMessage. I don't FaceTime anyone. I live in Jamaica. 99% of the people in Jamaica, we either use WhatsApp, we call you straight via the call app, we talk on Instagram, or they use Messenger if you're in the millennial year group. We don't mainstream iMessage and FaceTime here in Jamaica unless we're trying to adapt to the American lifestyle and culture. Let's get that out there. Even when I was an iPhone user, we did not use iMessage. I could count on one hand the amount of people who used iMessage, and even then, they still use WhatsApp on their iPhone. Moving right along, iPhone 7, and it was the same. The only thing that improved between the iPhone 6s Plus 7 from my iPhone 4 was the camera got a bit cleaner, like a little bit cleaner, and the screen got bigger. That's it. Opposed to my LG G3, jump to the G4, then the V10, the changes were phenomenal. Like the LG V10, it was the first phone to have a notch, by the way. A lot of people may not recognize that or acknowledge that it was the first phone to have a notch, not the iPhone X. It was the LG V10, and it was also the phone to have dual camera setup. It had two front-facing cameras. It has one for single selfies and one for group selfies. The LG V10, look it up. They later added two cameras to the back on the LG V20. LG was one of the first phones to revolutionize having more than two cameras on a phone. Moving right along, 2019, this is the year of Samsung. The S7 Edge, beautiful device, the S8, infinity display, the S9, and then the S10. The S10 grabbed my attention. I love that phone. It looked amazing, amazing specs. Everything about it was perfect. Remember, my iPhone 7 Plus didn't have a headphone jack, and that really bummed me out because I like to use big headphones when I'm listening to music. I didn't adapt to the whole Bluetooth thing as yet. And if you're in your car with your friends back then, yeah, I'm that old, you plug in your aux cable, plug it into the car stereo, and play music. You go to a venue, they have a little boombox, stereo speaker somewhere, aux cable. 7 didn't have that, so it was a bit of a bummer back then. They removed the headphone jack. So the S10 had a headphone jack and also had expandable storage. Wow, oh my god, I had to get that phone. I got the S10 Plus, went back to Samsung. Remember, the LG V10 then to Samsung, so I sat out iPhones for a while. The features blew me away, man. Like, I gotta say, like so much customization, so much value for money. It was out of this world. Like, I used to have Samsung devices in between, like the old S3, the S2, but not for long, like a month. Like, my father had it, tried it around, he gave me, I broke it, then it was always back to iPhone. But the S10 was my first Samsung device to use long term, and the features blew me away. Under display, ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. The S10 was one of the first to do that. They had reverse wireless charging. You put something on the back, like right here, it charged it. Like it sent power from your phone to something else that uses wireless charging. iPhones didn't have that, man. I know they had the XS, the 11. It was the 11 in 2019. Like, it was just a phone. Like, it was so bland, man. And the Samsung had so many features, and I decided, all right, I'm gonna try this Samsung thing. The Edge, the screen was phenomenal, and the camera wasn't that bad. The camera wasn't that bad. And for someone like me, I started my photography journey same time when I got the Samsung 2019. I had a professional camera, so camera quality didn't really matter to me because the pictures I will be taking on my phone is just for social media. No one will be pixel-peeping that stuff, and I'm a photographer. I know how to edit and tweak my photos to look good anyways, and I am not an Instagram model. My life doesn't revolve around taking good photos for social media, and I don't go live and those stuff, so it was pretty fine. The features, yeah. So fast forward to 2024, 2025 right now, I still have the S24 Ultra because it's still a functional phone. I have no reason to upgrade to the S25 Ultra. It's almost the same. So a few of the features I love about this phone opposed to my iPhone when I used to have an iPhone is the fact that it has an S Pen. Like, a lot of people may say this is a niched tool, but I like the fact that I have it and it comes in clutch whenever I need it. Like, I can write on the screen of my phone. Can your iPhone do that? No, that's what I thought. And it is feature packed. I'd rather have a feature and not use it than need a feature and not have it. And that's the case with the iPhone. The only drawback is how fluid the apps are And that is totally dependent on the developers. That's not on the side of Samsung or Android. It's the developers. They're lazy, they're getting paid, and they're doing a sloppy job optimizing the applications for Android, because we know Google Pixel and Samsung devices are the pinnacle of Android. Whether you like it or not, it's the truth. Numbers don't lie. So if I'm a developer and I saw, Samsung sold 10 million S25 Ultras and Apple sold 18 million 16 Pro Max, 10 million and 16 million. Let me optimize my application to look good on the S25 Ultra, the same it would look on the 16 Pro Max, so people can have a good experience of my applications. No, we're lazy. We're just gonna do a botched up version of the application on Android. It's Android, just so it's compatible with all of them. We don't care. But we have to polish the ones on iOS so Apple don't restrict us from having our applications on their platform, because Apple is very strict, and Android, Google Play is so lenient with these developers and their restrictions. That's the reason why some apps by the way, are more polished on iPhones than they are on Android devices. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I run into some bugs, especially with Instagram. Instagram is bug riddled. There's so much bugs on Instagram. On Android, like it works really well, but I am a very picky person and I will see the little glitches and the little lags that comes with Instagram. So I know it's not the phone's fault, because the phone will be operating quite fine in everything else, every other application. Once I go into Instagram, it will start fiddling around. Another reason I choose to use Samsung is the fact that I use a Windows device. I use a Windows device for my video editing, graphic design, in my photography editing and stuff, and also for my gaming. I play Call of Duty Modern Warfare, by the way. And I like Windows devices due to the customization as well. I can buy a 16GB RAM laptop and turn it into a 64GB RAM laptop. Try that with a Mac and show me. So I choose Android because Android connects more seamlessly with Windows, Microsoft products than they do with Mac products. And also Samsung and Microsoft have a very close relationship, similar to what Samsung has with Google. So Microsoft stuff and Google stuff works Google stuff works natively on Samsung devices because it's Android, and I would say Microsoft products work almost the same, almost natively on Samsung products due to that cooperation. So I love that about having an Android versus an iOS device. And another reason I like my Android device is the value for money. People complain that the reselling price for Android products go down too fast, too quickly. Like, I don't really care about the reselling value of an Android device because I don't plan on reselling my Android device. If you're broke, just say that, bro. There's nothing wrong with being broke, So if you want to keep the resale value of your iPhone, that means you're broke, bro. You could just finance it, I mean, no one has to know. So don't mention reselling values as it relates to phones, because that screams broke. You get me? And Samsung also has one of the best trade-in values compared to any other company out there. Even Apple, you can trade in an iPhone and get a Samsung device for more than what it would give you for trading in an iPhone for another iPhone. Samsung has one of the best trade-in options on the market. So yeah, it's all down to personal preference with everything else. One UI, the UI, the experience, it's almost the same, bro. It's just a different operating system and how everything else looks, and it's down to preference. That's literally it. I choose to use an Android because I tried it over 8 years ago and I liked it, and it works for me. An iPhone works for you, it works for you. It's just what we like. And I would love if we end the phone wars going forward and just accept each other for what we like and our preferences. So yes, I'm Siobhan Beckford, and if you want to see a more in-depth video of my experience using the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra for over 12 months, well, it's not been 12 months, it's like 9-10 months so far. I got it in October of 2024, so that's like 9 months. Let me know in the comments and I will make that video. Siobhan Beckford, feel free to hit the like, share and subscribe button so I can do more rants like these about tech stuff. And I am signing out. Bye.
Mercy. My heart is filled with love. My heart is filled with love. My heart is filled